Welcome to this week's Total Football Podcast. I'm Declan Hart. This week it's a penalty controversy and Premier League rights up for discussion. To have this discussion, I'm joined by Andrew Conway.
Hello.
And Matthias O'Flaherty.
Hello.
Deadline day is done and dusted, so where does the conversation go? On Sunday evening, the story broke that Antonio Conte was asking Chelsea to come out with a statement in support of him and his job. The first recorded incident of a manager who recognises his job is under threat and has actually asked for the dreaded vote of confidence.
Well, he recognises his job is under threat because he's the one starting all the rumours that his job is under threat.
I don't think he's starting the rumours that his job's under threat. It's well known.
Okay, he's not starting them, but it's his behaviour in press conferences and in front of the media that has led to the board deciding he might be better off removed.
Yeah, well, he did do a bit at the beginning of the season when he was, did the whole Jose, I'm going to wear a tracksuit to matches instead of a suit. And
started growing a beard at one point.
Yeah,
as
he
well.
did. He was
the ultimate sign of
compared to
really care.
Like last season, he always wore the black suit.
Yeah.
There was never any real change from that. But now, he's changed. He's cleaned up since then. He shaved. He's worn the suit most of the time. I know a few times he wore the baseball.
Well, he's got to advertise himself for his next job as well, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, the pot shots at the Chelsea board haven't slowed down.
No, but he didn't manage to remove the director of football. If you remember, he's gone to Monaco.
I thought, the press releases at that point were that Emanalo had voluntarily had enough,
and he got a better offer. Where his family are and blah blah blah.
But that could well be Conte having got the better of him too.
Yeah, as we've said all season, the writing has been on the wall since he almost won the league. It's like it's the standard Chelsea way. Once they win the league, bye manager.
Yeah, and then into the news, with the speculation surrounding Antonio Conte, reports are continuously coming out about who Chelsea are looking to potentially replace Conte, if he is to go in the summer. One man has already ruled himself out of the running, Diego Simeone. He said he'd only go to the Premier League for one club, Manchester United. And I thought this was interesting for a couple of reasons, because one, obviously, back when Ferguson was retiring initially, they interviewed managers like Klopp and Pep, and they turned down United, and it was kind of not just anyone will go to Manchester United, but also not just anyone will go to Chelsea now that they see how they treat their managers.
Money talks, I think, in this game. Like, that's why Chelsea have continued to get such high-profile managers, because they spend a lot on them.
Yeah.
And they give them, okay, we might only have you for a year or two, but you're going to get a lot of money for coming to us, and if we sack you, you're going to get a big severance. Like, Roberto Di Matteo was still getting severance a couple of years after he was out. Yeah. Like, he had to forfeit some of the severance to take over at Schalke at the time.
Yeah, I remember that, actually.
That's how good the contracts are for managers at Chelsea. Jose Mourinho got a big payout when he was sacked.
Yeah, and that's why Chelsea, like you said, continue to get new managers and continue to get the best ones.
Yeah.
Because they're more than willing to pay for it, and most managers going to Chelsea understand that. Yeah. They understand that they're not there for the long term, that the long term process is more with the board, with Maria.
I forget her name, but she's the boss.
She's the boss with Chelsea, and I mean, they understand that they're second and that they could be gone very quickly.
Yeah, and as well, like, just going back to Manchester United, like we've spoken about, the inevitable Mourinho collapse. Like, it does seem like it is going to happen, but we've talked about who do they bring in afterwards, and like Diego Simeone is at least a possibility there, I think.
The problem with Simeone is that he plays a very negative style of football for a club like Manchester United.
It would almost be like going out of the fire into the frying pan from Mourinho to Simeone. Now, saying that Simeone's a lot younger in his career trajectory than Mourinho has been when he's taken over Man United, so maybe he'll be more successful with that brand of football at the club. But
it'd be interesting to see him go to a club where he has a little more wiggle room to spend the money as well, to see if he does change his style. I wouldn't think that he would.
No.
But it's
an
interesting,
man.
Yeah.
Like this is a guy that tried to fight a player in extra time in the Champions League final. He was the manager.
But also, Diego Simeone has clearly had a path. He's going to be at Atletico for a while, and then it looked like he was going to go to Inter. And this is the first time we've seen him maybe even think about deviating from that path.
I mean, when he said these comments, I don't think he was necessarily meaning anytime in the near future either.
Yeah.
I still think Inter is the next job for him. I think he's coming to an end with Atletico. They seem to have stagnated, might be a bit harsh, but they haven't hit the highs of that.
Yeah, they kind of hit a wall.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
They can get
I think he's been brilliant for the club, but I don't think he can bring them much further. and I think Inter's a good next step for him. He'll get a lot of backing, and that will be where we see what type of a manager he really is, because Inter do have enough money and do have the squad that he could turn around and play a more attacking style of football, more possession-based style of football. And if he doesn't at Inter, I don't think he'll ever manage United or a really big club.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. And it's going to be interesting as well in the summer, because it seems like Conte could go to Inter. It seems like Simeone could go to Inter. So they, if they do want to get rid of Spalletti, they have options there, and high-profile ones at that.
Well, maybe we should talk about Inter very quickly.
Because their form has been terrible since...
We spoke earlier in the season how they were one of the top teams in Europe so far this season. So them and Barcelona, and then obviously Napoli and Juventus are still up there at the top.
Yeah.
But Inter have not won a match in 2 months.
Yeah, it's like eight or nine games.
8 league games, and
Yeah.
they won an Italia Cup, Coppa Italia match at the beginning of December on a penalty shootout
against a really lower league side.
So if you want to be pedantic about it, it's been 9 matches, and it's been since the very first of December since they've won a match.
Like they're behind Lazio in the league now as well.
They've fallen way behind. They can't seem to score. It's like at the beginning of the season, we said they were good, but I had worries about them, because I remember watching the Milan derby, and they were not good. They won. They beat
Icardi was their best player by far, and he scored all the goals.
Perisic and Icardi just combining for all of their goals.
Yeah.
And then defense. If we stop Perisic and then man-mark Icardi, they can't do anything, and it's proven to be that way.
Yeah.
Spalletti's a great coach, but that team still had limitations last season.
Yeah.
They weren't arrested.
They still need to worry about money as well, because for financial fair play, and if they don't make the Champions League, that would be huge for them.
Yeah, it means Skriniar will almost certainly have to go. They picked him up for 5-10 million in the summer, and I think there was a inquiry from Manchester United over the Christmas window. 65 million apparently is the figure quoted, and he's looked worth it in that team. He's the best defender there by a long distance. He's a great player. But he's one they'd like to keep a hold of, especially for more than a year. Inter aren't the sort of club who'd be happy with selling one of the best players that quickly after signing him. But if they don't make Europe,
João Mario's at West Ham now.
João Mario's already gone, and West Ham are paying his wages as well as.
And there's an option to buy as well. At the end of that deal.
The thing Inter have, and I think it'll save them from the wrath of financial fair play almost, is they have assets. Icardi in the current market should go a 100 million player.
Yeah.
Perisic is old, but I still say a team like Manchester United will come in with a huge money because that's the way they're acting at the moment. As you say, the defense, Handanovic in goals, still at the top. He isn't the best in the world, but he's a damn sight better than most goalkeepers at top clubs right now.
He's top 3 in Italy.
Yeah.
He'd be top 5 in the Premier League. I'd say.
Easily. Liverpool, Arsenal, even Spurs in current form could all do with a keeper like Handanovic. They have assets that could really reverse that. I'd worry more about clubs like Milan who are already not going to qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah.
And don't have those assets.
The problem with Inter's assets is everybody knows they need to sell to make ends meet. It'll happen. It happened to Roma. That's why Salah left for so little. That's why there was talks of Dzeko, their star player, leaving in the Christmas market. Yeah. It'll happen to Inter too. Icardi's definitely a 100 million striker on form, on ability. He'll go for 50, 60 because clubs know Inter have to sell.
That's true.
And the big game of the Premier League weekend focused between Liverpool and Tottenham. There was a lot of controversy in this match. It all came in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, there's nothing before that.
And what an incredible 15 minutes it was as well. Probably the best 15 minutes of football this season. Except maybe the incredible 3-goal period for Arsenal against Liverpool.
Yeah, or that Chelsea match against Arsenal. That was fantastic.
The end of that match as well.
We've had a couple of cracks.
It's been a good season for the big games, especially considering last season was quite poor, I thought.
Yeah.
But I thought the quality of the first 80 minutes or so of this match was also poor. It played more like one of the big games from last season. Liverpool really, if they were a bit sharper, could have finished off Tottenham.
Yeah.
I feel it's a little harsh to say the quality was poor, but there was definitely more mistakes than you'd expect from 2 top teams in England.
Yeah. There's issues with the match, and I know it's not one for coming down, and I know we talked about VAR before, but I think the officiating. First and foremost, Salah's second goal, the amazing. He just dribbled past everyone and scored. That should have been a Liverpool penalty before all of that, and Moss missed it. It was a handball, completely missed by the referee and the assistant referee at the time. But Liverpool got the goal out of it. Nothing has been said about it really since because Salah scored a
It was such
goal.
a magical goal.
It was.
Yeah,
It's
and there was great
almost
goals in
better
it.
than it wasn't.
Wanyama of all, he never scores.
The
And
great
he's-
debate really is which goal did you prefer, Salah's or Wanyama's?
Salah's.
I gotta stick with Salah.
Yeah, I'd say
That's-
Salah's.
Because
as
you
well.
can have, like, there's certain, like, Michael Cox, his own American, has a thing about great goals and says, you should judge a great goal by its uniqueness.
Yeah.
Like, in fairness to Wanyama, I think Suso scored a goal for Milan yesterday that was almost identical. Not as powerful, but very similar in terms of top corner from a distance. You see those goals every now and again. Salah's, you don't see him just dribble and pass.
The only players you actually see do that is like Messi.
That's it. Yeah.
Like that kind of caliber.
Yeah, I mean the Wanyama goal was fantastic, but at the same
And
time,
it will win goal of the week.
yeah,
Probably.
and as I'd say they're more pleasing to look at, but Salah's goal was special. You know, it's the sort of goal you just don't see.
Yeah.
So that,
But away from that, 2 penalties in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, that
You
was
know?
absolutely incredible. Like
There's controversy over where the goals offside, where the penalty calls, where the players
there's
offside.
like
at the time.
24 hours later, people are still debating whether the first penalty was like with Harry Kane was still offside or not.
But yeah,
well, according to the rules, he wasn't. Simple as. You know, the rules state that if he doesn't make a move towards the ball, which he didn't, and Lovren attempts to play the ball, which he did,
Yeah.
Kane is not offside. Those are the rules.
Yeah.
Like, whether he dived, that's another question.
Yeah.
That's another story. But as far as offside calls go, you know, if it had deflected off Lovren, he's offside.
Yeah.
If he had come towards Lovren and made him attempt to play the ball, he's offside.
Yeah.
But he didn't do either of those things. Lovren went to rush a clearance, you know, mishit it, and then
What we haven't heard, or what I haven't heard anyway, is whether Harry Kane will be investigated for simulation or deceiving the referee because he did gain an advantage.
the decision was
technically.
made that it was a penalty. It's the same. Like that's just how it goes.
No, but we have seen, is it Umar Nias was given a 2-match ban for deceiving the referee earlier in the season? Like, I wonder will Kane even be
I
reviewed?
don't see it happening. Because
Yeah.
you know, he was punished by missing the penalty would be the basic argument, even though it's a completely fraudulent argument.
Yeah,
That's
I wouldn't agree with that.
Yeah, I
either.
agree.
But like later on, then the second penalty call, we have, I know we have divergent views on this. I think that was a complete dive. I know the views about being offside, and I'm unsure about that. But I personally think that Virgil van Dijk saw that he wasn't going to get the ball and withdrew his leg in a motion to not kick Lamela. Lamela saw the leg coming and then immediately reacted as if he'd been shot.
yeah.
And you can't deny.
No,
he
he's
died.
definitely.
The story is like football is a contact sport. It's
Yeah.
We're not saying it's a non-contact sport at all. And
I
he did like
yeah.
he did
Yeah.
like get you can be touched in football by someone else's
No,
leg.
but the problem
and
there,
not shoot
I
against the
think,
ground.
is, do you remember the incident back when Tottenham played against Manchester City last season in the Etihad and it finished 2-2?
No.
That happened. And it was 2-1 and Raheem Sterling was through on goal, Kyle Walker pushes him.
I remember
and
this.
Raheem Sterling doesn't go down.
Yeah.
And they don't get it. What was a clear penalty. That's why I think Eric Lamela has to go down like that.
I agree. That Sterling incident was a disgrace, and I mean that is why you get players going down. And
Exactly.
I mean, that's why my view of a dive is if there's contact or not. If there is contact and it's embellished, for me that's not a dive. It's not the same as going down when there's no contact.
It's making it obvious the contact
Exactly.
is made.
I mean, sometimes, you can give out to players and say they go down easy, and they do. They absolutely do. They make it look more than what it is. But they have to sometimes, because they won't get the call. And if they don't get the call, is Lamela going to score from there without a penalty? Probably not. Last minutes of the game, you can't blame him for going down. So that's the question. Is there contact? Because if there's contact, he's entitled to make as big a deal of it as he likes. And I think there is,
Well, I don't think there is enough contact to warrant a foul or any type. I know there is comments all over Twitter. It's like if it was outside the box, it would have been free. I don't think it would have been.
I think it would have been.
I don't think it would have been a free because one, the player wouldn't have dived. I most likely would have gone down.
No, you often see a
acrobatic
player
play.
get in the way of the ball to draw the foul.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
like he completely withdrew, so it's not. I have no doubt that if that was outside the box and because it was so clear that he withdrew before making intentional contact. But the second point, and this goes forgetting the fact that we make contact or not or whatever.
Yeah.
Lamela didn't need to go down, and he had control of the ball. As you say, would he score? He had complete control of the ball, and he chose to throw himself at the ground.
Yeah.
at how many yards from the goal?
It was at a tight angle as well, though.
Yeah,
He was within.
I don't think he was within.
He could have thrown himself into the net at the range he was at.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, he was about 5 meters out. He wasn't far out, but for me, that's bad defending. That's bad defending for me, because Van Dijk doesn't need to do that. You know, if he shouldn't give Lamela the opportunity at all to go down for this. You know,
and this goes to the fundamental problem about Liverpool. And this was made a big point that they had no possession yesterday. It was all Spurs, but they had the lead, and that's why they didn't have any possession. But saying that not having any impact on possession means you're liable to just There was 92, 93 minutes into that match.
Yeah,
incessant pressure. Mistakes are going to happen, or you're just going to be slightly out of position, or you're going to be tired.
Yeah.
And it's no surprise both penalties happened in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, and like the thing with Liverpool is though, like they're almost better defending when they have the ball. Like
that's what Man City do.
Yeah,
very similar.
That's why they had the second best defensive record in the league at the moment. I think
they defend
through
on
possession.
the foot.
Yeah.
They keep a high line. They push forward and they keep their actual area of play very compact, and then no one can compete with that.
But to do that, you need to have fast defenders who are good under pressure while being pressed on the ball.
Yeah.
Liverpool, Van Dijk has those attributes. I don't think any other Liverpool back does.
Well, Andy Robertson, I think.
Robertson, yes,
he was isolated.
Yeah.
But the problem is though, like Van Dijk was at fault for the goal, so like they spent 75 million on him. He's still going to make the same mistakes that the other two centre backs will make.
Everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah. I feel that's not one you can hold against him.
No. And the 75 million, that's the going rate.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous number.
I think the purchase, the purchase they should have made was not necessarily a centre back, not immediately. I still think they needed. I think they needed a goalkeeper more.
I don't know. Carey saved a penalty.
He was hit right at him.
Yeah, but that's most goalies jump out of the way. Like 80% of penalties are sent down the middle, and most keepers jump out of the way. But the second one, he went completely the wrong way. There's nothing he could do about that. But he saved a penalty. He did what he had to do. There was no stopping Wanyama. I think the more games he's played, the more, the more confident he's looked.
Yeah. No, I feel just going back to those mistakes again. Van Dijk, that's pretty much his first major mistake in the Liverpool shirt, and it was one he didn't need to give.
He made one as well in the Swansea match.
He did, but
defenders make mistakes all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you invite that much pressure.
Yeah, but I think it's down to the system.
Yeah.
It is a little, and we've talked about this, but the problem with Clavin and the problem with Lovren is that they'll make those mistakes far more often. Too often. To have any good excuse for it. You can't just put it down to the system or lack of possession or tiredness, because they make them all the time. Van Dijk, early days yet. It's too early to say he is doing that. He is making those sort of mistakes. But, the two, Swansea and this, I think Lovren and Clavin would have made those mistakes and more.
Yeah.
Fair. I feel they make mistakes in games where there isn't much pressure on him, and Van Dijk won't do that, which is why I feel he's a good upgrade and a necessary one, because he'll save him. He'll save him a couple of goals a season.
I think I'm not against the decision to buy Van Dijk. I just think they needed to also spend more on the rest of the back five.
That comes in the summer.
Yeah, fair.
And in fairness, I think most teams were open to transfers happening, but as we discussed last week in the transfer special, there was a lot of toing and froing between clubs. And clubs wouldn't sell unless they had a replacement, and it's very hard to do that business in Christmas. Yeah. So that's why they weren't able to replace Coutinho, for example, and why they weren't obviously able to get a goalie. And if you replace your goalie mid-season, it's going to cause uproar. It's already kind of has in the confusion that was caused the first couple of matches when Karius was in there instead of Mignolet. But if they push through and power through it, you never know. Maybe they probably won't buy another goalkeeper.
Maybe.
Yeah, Karius still has potential. People forget how young he is.
Yeah, and he'll probably have the next 6 months or whatever to prove himself.
And how good he was in the Bundesliga. He was one of the better keepers there. He can definitely still come good for them. Whereas Mignolet, not so much.
Mignolet's, we've been saying that for years. And he still hasn't gone, so we never know.
And then it was a debut goal for Arsenal's new signing Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in an emphatic 5-1 win over a dreadful Everton. Sam Allardyce called the team pathetic, unacceptable, and described the performance as a disaster.
Everton were poor. Arsenal were very good, and they were very controlling of the ball. And before we go on a bit too far, apparently it's pronounced Aubameyang.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because apparently it is Aubameyang.
That's the first time.
Apparently, okay. It's the French pronunciation.
I'll try to remember that.
Yeah, we'll see if it actually catches on. He probably will just be Aubameyang.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But, yeah. He was offside for his goal.
Yeah.
By a substantial
It
margin.
was the fourth goal, though,
Actually,
so it's not
Before
really
we go too far away from the Liverpool match, we didn't even mention VAR in this. That both of those decisions under, normal procedure of that was in the League Cup and it was in the FA Cup would have gone to VAR.
Yeah.
I think would they have been overturned or not?
You don't know.
Offside first and foremost.
Offside. Okay. Yeah.
The first one would have stood as a decision because of the offside. The second one, there's three of us here and there's a 2 against 1. I think it was a penalty.
Yeah.
What would the
I'm not sure.
The judgment of the referee was for contact. Sure. If there is any contact, is that an automatic penalty?
I'm not sure that.
Mark Clattenburg said they're both offside, and he wouldn't have given them if he was judging.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't use Clattenburg as an example
No,
of a good referee.
Anyway,
a different referee, Dermot Gallagher, I think, said they were both.
Dermot Gallagher did, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem. At some points, it's so tight. I don't think anybody has a wrong opinion on this because it is, too close.
Yeah.
Replays aren't conclusive enough. So I think at that point, VAR would stand with the referee's decision.
Yeah.
I think is what would have happened.
Probably, yes.
And in the same regards, Aubameyang goal wouldn't have stood.
No.
It would just been ruled it was offside.
Yeah, it would have taken 5 seconds.
Yeah, you would have heard it. As soon as the clock going off and the ball crosses the line, no, it's offside.
But I think that's
3-0.
maybe the least important story out of this entire match as well, though. Because, even then you say Arsenal were pretty good. I thought in the second half, and maybe this just comes from the fact that they were already 4-0 up, but Everton carved them open so easily.
Yeah,
and were just really terrible going forward.
I can qualify the statement they played pretty well by saying their attack was very functional.
I feel like we're going to have to get used to saying that a lot for the rest of the season about Arsenal.
Yeah, in defence, they weren't Mustafi saved a goal-bound shot from Walcott. It was 3-0, and that could have been 3-1 in a different match.
That in for the crack.
Yeah, but there were players dragged over the way because Shanley wasn't. We went down a couple of times during that match, and all the time looked injured.
Yeah.
Every time he went down, it's like that's him gone again. But he got back up, and he's like, he's not fit. He's got a chronic. Chronic injury.
He should not be playing.
No. And Mustafi was all right. The fullbacks were pulled all over the place. They were just attacking full out. So it was back to Arsenal having 2 at the back and nobody else. So it was expected that eventually, as someone as pace as Walcott and creating chances for him, and when Rooney was on, things started looking up for them. But I mean 4-0 as we said at the time.
I think we got used to Arsenal being Liverpool MK2.
Yeah. I think that's it. I don't think their goal difference is going to improve drastically between now and the end of the season. For every match they win 4 or 5-0, they're going to drop a few goals or maybe lose a draw match.
And again, it's the home form has been fantastic this season. They've only dropped 5 points, I think, at home all season.
One of those, 3 of those were against that ridiculous Manchester United match.
Yeah, and the Liverpool match is the other one, which is another ridiculous match. And they're two they're in the top 4 in the league this season. They're beating all the lesser teams at home pretty comfortably. They just need to sort out that away form, which is terrible.
3 wins this season. And not only that, I think the last 3 away matches they've had a winning position and lost.
Yeah.
Which is just, that's mad.
Yeah. But I mean, talking about Everton on the other side of it, Allardyce hasn't done anything there.
He spent a lot of money.
And the team has not got any back.
Tosun. Yet to score.
Yeah,
Walcott's
actually doing alright.
Walcott's been a good signing.
Big Sam's criticism, blaming the players for his, when they win, it's his.
Yeah, I mean, were they even right to sack Koeman at this point?
It's not looking like
it's not
because apparently all the Coleman signings, bar Wayne Rooney, have been put up for sale or were for sale. You could get Danny Klassen, you could get.
Klassen nearly went to Napoli according to Sam Allardyce.
You could get
Vlasic.
Various these players.
I think a couple of those signings were a bit too similar and shouldn't have been made. But at the same time, I think Everton had a plan in place at the start of the season. And I mean, all right, it definitely wasn't going to plan, but I mean, they haven't turned it around. They don't have any long-term plans now, and is Allardyce a long-term solution there? No. Do you see him there next season?
Not really.
I think if they could get a better manager in the summer,
Marco
Silva or someone else who can rebuild that. You have to rebuild after a season of transition with Coleman, then rebuilding over the summer, and then it's all torn down by.
I mean, yes. And if there's a bad start to the season next year, do they sack him again and go somebody new? What happens?
The players that are performing for Everton, there's a chance they could be sold. Theo Walcott's a Liverpool fan. Liverpool could use another
From
player.
Everton to
Absolutely.
Liverpool.
Yeah, it easily could happen.
I mean, he'd be a great rotation.
Pickford, I'm sure he's still had a very good season despite him
He could
letting
be
in so many
Arsenal's
goals.
next.
He could be
Absolutely.
Arsenal or Liverpool again.
He'd
or
be a great
Chelsea.
signing.
You know,
He'd
if
be
they
a
get rid
great
of
signing
Courtois.
for any of them.
Yeah. They'd all be interested in it.
Yeah.
But then, any other thoughts on Everton?
There's 7 points separating 11th and bottom at the moment. Everton aren't in that, are they? They're 10th.
They're 10th, I think.
Yeah, they're another 3 points clear.
Yeah.
But like they could be dragged into that. Any of those 9 teams could easily be relegated.
Easily.
Yeah, and I think that will do us for the news. Join us after the break where we'll talk about the Premier League rights. This week, the Premier League television and streaming rights for the UK and Ireland are to be negotiated for the seasons from 2019-20 through to 2021-22. It is expected to increase once again despite diminishing TV viewing figures, resulting in even more money being pumped into the English game. However, Facebook and Amazon have shown great interest in acquiring rights to broadcast the Premier League online and are expected to try to purchase one or some of the packages available. So what does this mean for the future of the way we watch the Premier League, and can this big money spending go on forever?
No.
Yeah.
No, it can't go on forever.
No is the short answer.
Yeah, I mean, this money that they're paying is coming from the subscription fees people pay to watch Sky Sports and to watch BT Sports, and people are getting sick of how expensive they are. You know, and the cord's being cut. I think more streams are being pirated than ever before.
Yeah, you can get any match you want, multiple hundreds of streams. People are just putting them up and watching them on the internet free of charge. You know, it's wrecking the business model of the Skies and the BTs of this world. There's other things to be taken into account of this before we get into the big new players coming in. Sky are currently part of the Disney deal to buy Fox from Rupert Murdoch's News Corp, or 21st Century Fox, whichever company actually owned it. That could mean that, like, ESPN, a Disney subsidiary, used to be in the Premier League game as well. Yeah. You know, BT took their packages basically when they shut down. They could have another go at this. Yeah. And they could just endlessly fund Sky. It's funny, like, every time you think this bubble will burst, because it is a bubble.
Yeah.
The Premier League rights aren't worth the money they're being spent.
Not at all.
News this week came out that the Italian rights have been bought, domestic Italian rights have been bought for €1 billion, which is what, a fifth of the current Premier League deal?
And it could be even less if there's even more goes into this.
Yeah, exactly. And that was euro as opposed to sterling. I know there's been currency fluctuations, but still,
sterling is still stronger.
It is a stronger currency. It's like, I do not see how this model can continue. If Sky were not being purchased by Disney, I could see Sky having serious difficulties fulfilling their end of the bargain in the coming seasons. With BT still there, they have deep pockets from their telecoms company. But eventually, if it doesn't start yielding huge returns, they've spent over $1 billion on the Champions League rights. Yeah, and it hasn't hugely returned. Yeah, like, ironically, the most successful match shown by BT in the Champions League era was the one they live streamed on. I think it was at YouTube. At the same time, they simulcast it, and more people watched it on YouTube than watched it on BT.
But that's because, like, to give an example now, Chelsea playing Watford tonight. Yeah. I have BT. I can't watch that because it's on Sky Sports. You know, nobody wants to buy both because that is horrendously expensive. Yeah. Nobody is happy with a half and half. You know, nobody's happy with Sky and this game's on BT. Which was the Tottenham Liverpool game on?
That was on Sky as well.
Sky. So if you're BT like me, too bad. I can't watch one of the best games we've had. It hurts people when they just, it's like the problem Netflix has now. It used to be you could pay that tenner, you watch anything you want. Now Hulu started up. Yeah. People are taking their things off it, and that's turning into cable again. You have to pay for Hulu and Netflix and another one
and Amazon.
It goes on. Yeah. So I mean, I could see Facebook or Amazon being very successful with this, or even YouTube if I don't know if they're looking to get into it. But Amazon Prime isn't that expensive if they can add football to whatever they have. But if they add all of the football, not if they add a couple of games.
But the thing is as well, like there is the monopoly law in there, such that
that was what was brought in. Sky did have all the packages, and then the UK government intervened and said, no, it's unfair on competitors who cannot possibly get into the market. Sky had sewn up. They had the relationship, so they had to break out these other packages that had to be sold to other people who weren't Sky, and that's why they exist at the moment. Now that hasn't worked out well for the consumer at all, as you say. And like bars and places like this are getting charged enormous rates to hold Sky, thousands. Because it works out thousands per match over the course of a season for some big pubs in the UK and Ireland.
Some pubs are even trying to get it such that they are watching it illegally now because it is so expensive.
It happened in Sunderland, if you remember, when Niall Quinn was chairman of Sunderland, that the local pubs all had the match on. So much so that it was affecting gate receipts at the stadium because they would just watch it down the pub. Like, it's a long time coming, and football is one of the worst, as we've talked about with VAR. It's one of the slowest and worst organisations of sport to embrace technology. Like in the US, NBC, in the Middle East and New Zealand and a lot of Asia, you have beIN Sports. Just all matches streamed. You can choose any match you want. The UK and Ireland and across Europe, it's still like, no, match by match, game by game. We all negotiate over who BT gets, who Sky gets, and who the subsidiary broadcasters get, when are the matches on, and so on and so forth. It's ridiculous the way it is. Amazon and Facebook are in to shake up the market. They see there's a growth here. There's instant connection. Live sport is the one last bastion that television companies have. They have monopoly over, and that's coming to an end. Like the Eurosport chairman, or CEO, apologies, was recently headhunted by one of them, and I completely Facebook hired him. That guy recently negotiated all Olympic TV rights across Europe going to Eurosport instead of the low, RT, BBC.
Which is a big deal.
Huge for the first time ever. And negotiate because like nobody else thought of it. Like, why don't we all we'll pull together, put it all on? Everyone has to come to us to watch it.
And it's so much more convenient,
They have unlike Eurosport have a full streaming service, the same as Netflix. And you can watch it. You don't need a TV to watch it.
So long as they're not paying or forcing the consumer to pay inflated amounts for that, it's all good. And that's what they should have done with Sky. Just stop them from artificially raising prices because they're a monopoly. And if they kept it at that, everybody's happy. Sky are making all the money. The consumer's getting all the games. But they haven't, and I think online streaming is the way to go. That's
like both BT and Sky have entered into that market. They have Now TV with Sky, and BT have their own package that they sell separately to their broadband. That just does online streaming, but the prices are enormous. Like what's Sky per match? Is it £10
per
match?
€10
per match. You can get a 30 a month or something like
that.
The
prices did go down in the UK, but still, like, it is very expensive.
So that's the cost of that match is the cost of the full TV service.
Exactly. And a lot of the time, people are discouraged from going to the pub because you feel obliged to buy a pint or two. If you're spending tenner on a match anyway, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
And that'll hurt Sky because, if people decide to do that, you get more of an atmosphere. I find a match more enjoyable like that, even if it's an extra cost. But if it's not an extra cost anymore, why not?
But the thing with Sky as well, they're also undercutting their own customers. Pubs are one of their major customers. They're hotels and anywhere public that shows matches. And by having a Now TV thing to discourage people from going to the pub who don't already have Sky, they're undercutting their own margins. Like it's as if two sides of the same, like the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. And, they're both trying to do what's best for themselves, for the body as a whole, but neither are doing it because one is hamstrung by the price of the TV and one is, damaged by the fact that streaming even exists. You might start to wonder, is it an idea to go with a by-match service? Everybody can show it, but you have to pay a certain amount per match. That might work, If you bring down the cost a little bit, it'll allow people who are maybe more fair weather fans to buy in a game or two. Because there are always fans who will, watch a United City game or a United Liverpool game. They're not going to pay hundreds of pounds to get a Sky subscription because they're interested in 2 or 3 games. But they will pay for those 2 or 3 games. There's one extra thing that both Amazon and Facebook and Google, if they come in with YouTube, and anyone else that comes in may have an advantage over Sky or BT with. Is they have the video infrastructure in place. They have servers that can cope with the load of live streaming some to 1 million people and still work everything else at the same time. Sky have shown they've come leaps and bounds ahead since they used to only have the one login to a computer that can do it, and I know they're still kind of doing that with certain things, but their service is nowhere near as robust as Amazon's, as Facebook video is, as nowhere near YouTube in terms of usability. Like they've still got a long way to go on that software side of things as well. And the infrastructure. Maybe Disney will help them with that in the long run, and maybe there'll be a whole new plan once that takeover goes through, if it goes through. But for the moment, I see nothing but desperation in their future of when eventually this bubble bursts and their viewers will drop to a certain level. The Premier League will suffer because they won't have the money anymore.
Yeah.
Even, because I don't think like Amazon and Facebook do have endless money, so perhaps it is possible that this will never end. This bubble will just keep growing.
After all these problems we've named out, the money's still going to increase.
Yeah.
There's going to be more money brought in. The fees are going to rise for players, for wages for clubs.
The ticket prices will still probably go up.
Ticket prices will still be, they're only bringing in 60, 100.
The interesting thing though is Mourinho was critical of the Manchester United fans again this week because of the quiet atmosphere at Old Trafford. And Manchester United executives have actually said they're going to speak with United fans over the issue. So it'll be interesting to see what actually comes out from there, because there's the whole safe standing argument in England as well. And if Manchester, if one club makes the step to bring down ticket prices, I could see other clubs moving in that direction.
A season ticket at Liverpool, one of the best clubs in England, and when you see some of the best matches like that, is a couple of £100. The season ticket at Manchester United, at Arsenal, at Spurs is over 1,000. At Chelsea as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
that there already is reasonable ticket pricing, and clubs have taken a stand. Liverpool have said we're not lowering prices. I think Everton have done the same thing. Huddersfield as well.
Yeah.
Clubs are making a stand.
Yeah.
It's not until everyone does it. They all should do it. In Bayern Munich, the best team in Germany, amazing stars. You see amazing football. What is the season ticket price? 150.
It's
Euro as well.
It's something. It's
meager
like 50 quid a game.
Yeah. Just it's amazing that isn't made. No, just lower your tickets.
And I mean, that safe standing thing could really turn the corner on this, and the atmosphere as well, because
they'll keep charging enormous rates.
The problem with those enormous rates, and not just the enormous rates, with the fact that Manchester United is now more of a brand than a club.
Yeah.
It's the tourist fans, because I mean, it's hard to begrudge them. Fans coming in from Southeast Asia, India, China, because they are fans. They do deserve to go to a game. But for them, it's an occasion. They take pictures. They're there for the experience.
Yeah, they don't know all the songs.
Yeah, they don't know the songs. They don't join in the chants. Some of them will.
They're not there for the most part. After week.
Exactly. For the most part, they don't have. I don't want to say the same connection, but they don't have.
They don't have that locality.
Exactly.
That proximity that it's every day. It envelops.
They can't hate Manchester City like a born and bred Manchester United fan will, and that comes across on TV, and it makes it a worse experience to watch too. So I think safe standing can help with that, because if you do get semi-terraced stands, even just have one area of the pitch where this is the home fans, this are the mad home fans, the ones with the standing tickets, the ones that are here to shout for 90 minutes. That could really help, because that's what Dortmund bring in their stadium. That's why they have so much energy.
A worry in England is the average age of a football fan is increasing.
Yeah.
And it is it's becoming again more male focused as you get older as well. That you aren't getting a huge amount. You are getting more families now, but you're not getting a huge amount of young people between the ages of say 18 and 30 in there, because one, they can't afford the tickets, and secondly, it's not an experience. It's not a thrill the way maybe going to a concert would be, or maybe going out would be. While if you bring back the safe standing, it could be more of a this is a going out type experience.
Yeah, because I mean, concert tickets are about as expensive as football tickets at this point,
And which is going to be better for you.
And concerts happen. You might go to 3 in a year.
Yeah.
Matches
every week,
every second week, home matches. But that's far too often for somebody to afford unless they're working.
They're paying £60 a match. That's it.
Yeah, how is a student supposed to try and afford going to a
student can't?
Yeah, exactly. So the age will continue,
and they can't afford Sky. And then they turn to illegal methods to watch the match, if they're even a fan anymore, because this is turning fans off the game.
It drives people out of football.
It's a terrible cycle. It's what we're in at the moment.
It's going to be interesting to see just how much money is spent on these TV rights as well, and I think it's in the next week or two. I'm not entirely sure when the date is.
Soon, but it's diminishing returns. Sky can't hold on to their subscribers. BTs aren't growing at a rate to pay for it.
One thing we haven't mentioned is the awful possibility that we end up going down the American football route. They to make more money, they weren't getting their return, so they started playing ads in between quarters, and then it was in between plays. And now I don't know how many people watched the Super Bowl. It was on last night. The Super Bowl is almost as much an occasion for its ads.
People just celebrate the ads.
The ads. It is a bit unique in that everybody goes all out in the ads, but the playoff games before that were had almost as many ads, and they weren't the special ads; they were just the same ones over and over again.
Yeah.
Nobody liked that.
Yeah.
That it completely detracts from the experience.
You're seeing that already because you see the invention of the digital yarning, the advertising boards. Are constantly changing to the same ads. On a lot of broadcasters now, they have ads overlaying in the corner, and this is brought to you by Ford. This is brought to you by
the
30.
The betting ads as well are kind of propping up the advertising
and then
industry.
that's like it's all like rotating into each other.
Because I mean, that's the only way that the TV channels can pay for it, and the more expensive it gets, the more they need to turn to the advertisers for the money. The worse experience the consumer has.
A big problem for Sky and BT could be if gambling is kind of looked at by the UK, because if you ever watch a match live on TV, there's so many betting ads.
And they're giving you live odds, and then sometimes those live odds will come up on so the players can say, "Oh, look, I'm 7-1 to score next."
Yeah, like that just seems like that should not be allowed.
It can actually have an influence on the match.
Yeah.
Oh look, I had 11-2 if I let in a goal.
Yeah, like we saw what happened with Joey Barton, but like Joey Barton has said that he thinks that, or thinks that he knows that is happening. He's not loads of other players.
Footballers are going bankrupt all the time too. Gambling debts, like it's not just poker they're losing money on.
Yeah, like that's a whole other discussion.
Yes,
as well.
It is.
I think that will do us for our top of the show. Join us after the break where we will guess the player. Welcome back. It's time to close out the show now. Guess the player, where my two co-hosts will have to try to guess a mystery player through a list of former teammates or maybe even current teammates that the player has played with throughout their career. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
The players are Patrick Vieira, Yaya Toure, Daniele De Rossi, Dante, Ricardo Quaresma, Raheem Sterling, Luis Figo.
Okay, so
Vieira played for Milan. I forget who he plays for in
Arsenal,
Juventus,
City,
Inter, City.
He had a year at City, and Yaya Toure was there at the same time.
Yeah, so it's likely a player that's played for City, because I don't think Yaya Toure and Vieira shared any other teams.
Yaya Toure was at Barcelona. Who was he at before that?
Oh, he was at some other club in Spain.
Right, no big Italian team.
No.
So we got Luis Figo, Ricardo Quaresma.
Quaresma played for Inter. Figo played for Inter. Vieira played for Inter. Yaya didn't play for Inter. But it's a player that played for Inter also played. The only player that comes to mind first off is what's the name of that fullback that played for Inter and then played for
Maxwell.
No, not Maxwell.
No.
Macon or
Maicon. It's not Maicon.
It's not Maicon.
Good guess. Okay, so Quaresma started at Porto. Did Figo play at Porto?
I think Figo played at Sporting.
Okay.
The other players
we also got Sterling.
Dante, and Daniele De Rossi.
Right, Daniele De Rossi has only ever played for Italy and Roma.
Yeah, so he's either an Italian or he's only played for Roma.
Dante has played for Bayern. He has played for Leverkusen.
Is he? Yeah, is he on Mönchengladbach?
I don't know, but he's bounced around Germany. Has he ever played outside of Germany?
I don't know.
Maybe Brazil.
Is it Michael Ballack?
It's not Michael Ballack.
Okay, I'd say Raheem Sterling is City. Because it's City, Liverpool, and England.
So think of someone who's either played for Roma, because De Rossi's only is a one-club man.
Or an Italian
international that played at City. Mario Balotelli?
It is Mario Balotelli.
So he played with Griezmann, Figo, and thing at Inter. Played with Rossi at Italy. Played with Sterling at
Liverpool.
Was he at Liverpool at the same time?
Yeah.
And he played with, who was the other player?
Dante. I can't remember where he played with Dante. I made this about a week ago.
Is that Nice? He must be at Nice.
Yes, he's currently at Nice. That's what it is, yeah. The hints were he's won 3 Serie A titles, a Premier League and a Champions League. He scored 13 goals in 33 appearances for his country. 3 of those goals came in Euro 2012, where he was key to reaching the final.
That would have given it away.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us hints? So we're just discussing.
Because, I don't want to give it away too quickly. And then the last one was he was once caught on camera struggling to put on a bib during training, only for then manager Roberto Mancini to help him get it
Yeah, I still feel like I'm letting myself down here because I think I've got one in the last 4 episodes, and that one you had first and just let me work.
Oh yeah, that was that Pirlo.
Yeah, and you got Ricardo Carvalho.
I got Carvalho.
You did.
Yes, sorry, I did get Carvalho. But I mean, Pirlo was no.
And that will do us for the show this week. Thank you for listening. Please get in touch at the tfpod@gmail.com. You've got the name of it there. Any idioms this week to distract me?
Give us something.
No. I can't improv.
Okay,
no
fair enough.
Vision.
Yeah, we need to have one for the opening next week. Follow us on Twitter at the TF Pod. Follow me on Twitter at CheesyHard.